Vassell, and that is half-time in the Manchester derby, and it's currently 2-1 to City. And I tell you that 45 minutes has done nothing for me nerves. I'm not feeling calm at all yet, despite how dominant City have been in parts of that first half. So we're going to get the thoughts of my guests now on that first 45 minutes. David, what's your kind of overall assessment of the half?
First of all, what a game. What a game. I was thinking it was going to be a bit cagey because it's 2-1, cagey because there's been chances both ends, but what a game. And I think City deserve to be in the lead. David De Gea, if it wasn't Kevin De Bruyne's 2 goals, might even consider himself man of the match so far because he's had to produce some wonderful saves, but fortunately 2 less than he could have.
Yes, good. Darius, what do you make of the first half?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've been quietly impressed with the way United have come out. They've sustained their attacks pretty well and they have put City under the pressure. So whilst it is 2-1 as I predicted, it wasn't the comfortable 2-1 that I wanted it to be. But saying that, when City did get their opportunities, they've been clinical and they do overall, over the course of it, they do look the stronger side attacking wise. So I'd like to think that we'd get an extra goal. I'd preferred your prediction to come true rather than mine. I don't like the feeling of this 2-1 right now.
Right, see, welcome to my world.
Yeah, I'm in your world now.
Yes, I'd very much like us to score as quickly in the second half as we did in the first half, David, because it only took us 5 minutes to get off the score sheet today. Bernardo Silva to Kevin De Bruyne. Tell us about that goal.
I think the key moment in that was Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish darting down the left-hand side, taking, I think it was Wan-Bissaka, but taking players on and then cutting the ball back for Bernardo Silva. Great cross into space, and as Darius and I were watching it, Darius was saying that's just in an area rather than picking an individual out. But what an individual to find. Kevin De Bruyne, what a finish, yeah.
And that was his 50th Premier League goal as well that he's scored there. And Darius, what difference does it make to the game, to either team's tactics, to sort of score within the first 5 minutes?
We was having a little discussion about that. Sometimes it's not great to score too early. You're not in rhythm. You've not settled in the game yet, and you find yourself quickly conceding a goal and then finding yourself feeling like you're 1-0 down. But in this case, as you said, if you find the right players in the right positions, you can build on that lead in the right way. And De Bruyne's finish, I mean, I do striker coaching for youngsters, and the way he struck it, just like a pass into the bottom corner, it settles everybody down. It's so calm. It's not a lash. He's not trying to blast it into the net or anything like that. And it just shows the quality that's available. And like I said, if you just put the ball in the box and get the right people getting on the end of it, you can get the ball in the back of the net.
And then a few minutes later, David, United go down the other end and we get a big save from Ederson, from Fred. Tell us about that.
What a save, yeah. I mean, the footwork from Fred was quite scary, but I think it took a little deflection just before he managed to get the shot off. But Ederson came out. But I've said this before about Ederson. This guy is brave as a lion. He dives into the ball rather than trying to just block the ball. And what he did there, hands first, head behind, going into the ball, getting the block, that's as good as a goal. And even though United were to score, it stops that immediate response. So massive save.
So 1-0 up to City there, and then for the next kind of 10 or 15 minutes, Darius, it wasn't the kind of game I was expecting. United did look a bit better than I was hoping.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was starting off with. They've come out and they are capable of putting City under pressure or even scoring a goal. So City do have to keep the wits about them. They have to be composed in defence and have to be aware of the danger of the counter-attack. The funny thing is that Man United have been so good at their own counter-attacks, is that when City do break that down, City now get an opportunity to counter-attack, and I didn't think I'd see a lot of that today, and City looked just as dangerous. So we might be in for a thrilling second half, who knows.
Oh no, I can't take it, don't do that to me. So United equalised in the 22nd minute, David, and it was Jadon Sancho, and to be fair to him, it was a great finish.
Yeah, there was a couple of things to this. Paul Pogba just dropped into a hole when United were looking to get out of their own half, supplied the opportunity for the pass. His movement was fantastic. The ball over to Jadon Sancho, there's a moment where Kyle Walker is screaming for cover. I'm trying to get it in the right perspective, but he's screaming for someone to come inside him, and his focus is on the ball. And Darius was saying, why has he gone with a runner? Because I think he anticipated that he had the cover to allow Sancho to go into a City player, but there was no cover. Sancho then has his time. It's a wonderful finish, no chance for Ederson, but it was just so interesting, so many points, because you can see what was meant to happen from a City defensive perspective, but this is how Man United are very good at counter-attack, and it was a wonderful counter-attack.
Thankfully for us, though, it didn't stay that scoreline for very long. What a first 30 minutes, because only about 5 or 6 minutes later, we got our second. Praise to Kevin De Bruyne, but can we just have a little moment about Phil Foden in the build-up to that?
It was amazing,
Darius?
yeah. I really love to see that happen. Players produce that kind of skill, and the centre-back who's tried to head it clear, Phil Foden's flicked it over his head, and the centre-back's momentum's took him out the penalty area. The centre-back's now a midfielder now, and Phil Foden's turned and took the ball goalwards, so it's great play by Phil Foden, and a shame he couldn't get the finishing himself. But the follow-up from De Bruyne, and again the control, people just see him pass it into the net and just think it's simple. It's not. There are a lot of players that freeze up in those moments and try and lash the ball too hard, sometimes miss the ball or blaze it over. He just caresses it into the corner of the net, and that's the quality of City.
Oh, I like that description. Caresses it into the net there, David. Are you having that?
Oh, absolutely. The thing I loved about Phil Foden was so often you see a player trying to control the ball and they keep their leg in the air, but it was almost like, I'm going to flick this over you to get into a position. So his foot was like double quick. Yeah. Then Lindelof, as Darius said, was still running towards Edison, I think. Great finish, great save by David De Gea, but then Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, we love you, Kevin De Bruyne. And the Etihad erupted, and it wasn't just the Etihad that erupted. City fans around the world were celebrating those 2 goals from Kevin De Bruyne. There's Nigel de Jong!
Go on, sir.
Yes, look at him, David, he's getting the crowd going.
I tell you what, I wish he'd move like that in the soccer grade. We would have beaten them.
And they're all very relaxed out there. So this is in America. This is how the Americans celebrate it. This is Texas. That is our own Stephen McInerney, who's currently out in Texas. We're going to be hearing from him in a minute, but this is the Americans in Texas celebrating. They're loving it, obviously. Oh, a bit of a Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, we've got a surprise for you in a second. Check this guy out who's celebrating. He's currently in New York. I feel like he needs a bit of a drum roll.
Hey.
It's Pablo Zabaleta. Yes, look at that smile. Yes. And then we score again. Stephen McInerney with his hands on his head. And that is it. That's the celebration for the second one from Texas. So wherever you are in the world, we are all connected in these moments of pure joy. There's Dubai celebrating the second. Yes, Nigel! Yes, Nigel! Nigel de Jong in Dubai, Pablo Zabaleta in New York, Stephen McInerney in Houston, Texas. This is what he had to say about the first half.
Hey, Nat, we're over in Austin, Texas for the next entire for the derby at the Haymaker. And it's going well. Come on, City. It's been a great game of football so far. I'm here with Paco as well. He showed me around. It's, mate, it's good, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, it's been a good game, man. It's been active.
It's been loud. It's been fun. And Kev, we love you, mate.
Oh,
we love
Kev's
you.
the best.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Hope you're enjoying it over there. It's amazing.
We are enjoying it, Stephen. We are. You're having the trip of a lifetime representing us out there in Texas. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, does it, gents? Football just connects us all. And I love seeing Pablo Zabaleta still celebrating the goals, eh, David?
I was going to say, I think you've probably seen that a few times in the past, haven't you? That celebration.
It never gets old. It never ever. I'd love to get Nigel de Jong and Pablo Zabaleta in the studio. That would be incredible. Right, we're going to give you the second clue now for Who's Stat. This is our game that you have to work out who the current or former Manchester City player is. And I think this is a little bit of a toughie one today. So, clue 1. This player is one of a select few to win every title in the English game, including PFA Young Player of the Year. So he's won every title in the game. Clue 2. This player is a former teammate of both David James and Darius Vassell. A teammate of you both. Why am I so stumped on this one? Like, is it really obvious?
Oh, it's so obvious.
You know the silhouette thing that you do?
Yeah.
Sometimes that goes on for a player and it's not the player. You know, like it's just any old one. That's the player.
That's the player.
That is him. So if you can use your eyes and think, who could that be? Who does that celebration? That might help you guess it right.
I think I'm going to blame Derby Day nerves, because I usually like to pride myself on this game. But we hope you're enjoying it at home. Who you think that is? Do let us know. # Man City. So going into the second half, David, what do you think the game plan for C is going to be?
Well, I think, judging from what I've seen, and I know that Pep will have his analysis team set up in the stand, the left-hand side is crying out for an earlier ball. And a couple of times we played cross-field balls to Jack Grealish, but I think Cancelo's in a better position at times. And whether or not we can do that quicker, because the midfield battle is intriguing. We're winning 2-1, of course, which is good, but I just think there's an easier way of getting the ball out and putting Manchester United on the back foot, stopping them from being aggressive, because they're going to have to be aggressive in this second half.
What do you think? Any changes in the second half? Would you stay patient just now, Darius?
I think he'll keep it as it is, but I think the message to the team is to be aware of the counter-attack from Manchester United. That's going to be a problem causer, and later on down the line, if he's putting subs on, it'll be to stem that flow of United being able to break out at pace. It'll be based on that. Obviously, they need another goal as well, but I don't think he needs to tell the players that. The players are going to want to, produce that and get that themselves. They'll be motivated.
What are you thinking about your prediction still?
I don't want 2-1 anymore. I want the 3. I want James. I want the 3-1.
Your prediction is great as long as it's the end result.
Exactly, but I don't like the feel of it. It doesn't feel comfortable the way I've envisioned it. So, another goal, please.
David, are you still sticking with your 3-1?
I'm sticking with any win's a good win. 3-1 would be obviously very nice. More goals, and just seeing that Manchester United fan base starting to disappear early would be more calming for you, I'm sure. But I'd say just more of the same.
More of the same. Oh gosh, yes. I would like a really quick goal in the second half for City to actually. I'd love to try and enjoy it at Manchester Derby. I don't know if that's ever going to be possible. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out in the next 45 minutes. Now, before we go to the second half, I do have a few minutes where I can ask some of the questions that you have been sending in via WhatsApp. So thank you very much for getting involved in the show. It's your show. We love you getting involved, sending your questions in. So, gents, the first one's come from Kuba, who is asking for each of you, what aspect of training or coaching helped you guys improve as an individual the most?
What aspect? For me, to improve. For me, it's really important that you enjoy training and coaching, so it almost doesn't feel like coaching. It feels like you're playing the game. Obviously, that's where it started for me, playing the game. The aspect which improved me the most is the part at the end of training where you have a match, you have a game, 8v8, 7v7, and you get to try and be that person that you're trying to be for a while. Might be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but that was where I really got stuck into the game and felt like I could try and be the player that I wanted to be.
Brilliant, love it, David.
For me, I had a kicking coach when I joined Aston Villa, and he transformed my game. Same kicking coach I brought to Manchester City for a sort of top up, and Kasper Schmeichel was at the club at the time. I met Kasper a couple of years ago, and I talked about his kick, and he went, "Oh, you remember that kicking coach? I did everything you told me to do." And Kasper Schmeichel is one of the best kickers of football in the Premier League. So that improved my game, improved his, and he also took my place at Man City. So I shouldn't have had the coaching.
I love that for all the budding goalkeepers out there. A kicking coach. Yeah. Sounds like the best job ever, that. I love that. Right, we can see the players are coming back out now. So enjoy the second half. We will be here at full time, where we will hopefully be talking about another City victory in the Manchester Derby. I'm going to try and enjoy the second half. Do the same, Blues. We'll see you in 45 minutes.
Well, welcome back to the second half at the Etihad Stadium. A quite brilliant first half. You have to say that Ralph Rangnick's